We're really excited about the fact that our revenue growth continues to be strong this year. So our organic revenue growth was 7% for the quarter, and that resulted in a 17% increase in our EPS. And so when we look at what's driving that, the thing that I'm so excited about is the fact that it's cutting across every single one of our businesses. So all of our businesses are growing nicely, and it's really a testament to the relationships we've been developing with our customers. So two big highlights. We had a 74% win rate in our IPOs for the quarter. And when we look at that, so far, 100 companies have gone public this year in the first half of the year on Nasdaq. And so it's been a really strong start to the year in terms of IPOs and capital raises. And one other thing, which is the market technology business, which is one of the things I like to talk about. We had two key wins in the quarter. The National Stock Exchange of India, who's never worked with any company outside of India before, has chosen to partner with us to develop their next generation clearing and settlement technology. And the Swiss exchange, and they've been a client to us on the trading side of their business for a long time, but it shows our ability to expand our relationships. They're now going to be working with us on their clearing and risk management
technology. On the technology piece, because people always forget, we sit here at the Nasdaq and it looks all quite glorious and it's about stocks trading and we think about the net. But this business is really not. I mean, that's just a small part of the business.
It's an important part of the business, but it is definitely the other parts of our business are growing and are becoming a very large part of our business. Yes.
Okay. Do want to talk about the IPO market, which, by the way, is part of this side of the business. Here's the headline in the Wall Street Journal: Tariff talk has slammed the IPO window shut for car makers. It goes on to talk about a whole other series of IPOs that may get shut just as a result of trade. Are you hearing that?
So I would say that it has been the busiest year so far that we've had since 2014, and the amount of we have 20 IPOs coming just last week and this week onto Nasdaq. The calendar for the fall is unbelievably busy, and the number of meetings and prospects we're meeting with is probably the best we've had in 4 years.
So all this trade talk, all of the headlines, doesn't matter?
Well, I think it has to do with which industries you're talking about.
Right.
So we've had a 70% win rate in tech. Tech, healthcare, financials have been our strong points for the year. And those companies really some of those companies might have some impact in terms of looking at their global business, but a lot of them really are not really going to be directly impacted by tariffs.
Can you give us a hint about the two big unicorns that everybody's waiting for, probably as a 2019 project, Uber and Airbnb?
So I can only say that we talked to a lot of companies. We are excited about having them all come to Nasdaq.
That's exactly what Nelson said a couple months when we talked about. You guys coordinated this response. You can't give us anything else?
I think that at the end of the day, we are here for them when they're ready to come.
Let me ask you a different question. How important is it for big companies like those two names to go public, and what that ultimately means for the business, for the retail investor getting into this market, all of that?
That, I think, is the most important thing, which is at the end of the day, when companies go public, it means every investor gets to enjoy the growth of that company. When they're private, it's a subset of investors who get to enjoy the growth of those companies. And so if we want to look at the long-term health of our economy, we want to look at long-term wealth creation in this country and making sure everyone has equal access to that wealth creation, going public is a really, really important part of keeping a healthy economy in terms of job growth, in terms of business growth, and in terms of wealth creation for the average investor. And that's why it's so important that companies do ultimately choose to come into the public markets.
In terms of the pipeline, are you seeing any slowdown in interest in listing here from Chinese companies because of the trade wars?
Well, you know, it's interesting. We actually have a very large IPO coming out tomorrow. PDD.
Pinduoduo,
Yes, Pinduoduo is coming and listing on Nasdaq tomorrow. And so
but presumably that deal was set in motion months ago,
but at the same time, they've had the choice all along as to whether or not they wanted to choose to list in Hong Kong or Shanghai, or whether they wanted to list here. And they made that decision fairly late in the process. So we're very excited about that. We had Yushin, which is a secondary car, basically an online car sale organization. They came public just a couple weeks ago. So we are actually still seeing an enormous amount of interest from Chinese companies to come here. So we're excited about that.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.